What's up, everybody? Nick Powell's publisher of 1851franchise.com and CEO of 1851 Growth Club. So when you're looking at determining what is the right franchise for you, I've written down a few things that I think are important: size of brand, leadership, product, validation, and true support. Like if I'm looking at a business, those are some of the things I look at. So one, size of brand. You're going to see that there are definitely giant brands. And what happens there is oftentimes the territory is very limited. So depending where you live or where you want to open up a unit, you might not be able to get into that business. Like if you were to call McDonald's today or Chick-fil-A today, good luck. The benefit of an emerging brand oftentimes is you're catching them on the climb. And so you're trying to look for some indicators, like what did the growth look like in the last year? And in my opinion, the most important question to look at or ask is what's happening with existing franchisee growth. So let's say they have 5 franchisees, just for simple math. And each of those franchisees bought a 3-pack. A 3-pack means they've bought the rights to 3 locations. Let's say all 5 have opened up unit 1. And let's say all 5 were supposed to open up unit 2 in year 2, but none of them have. That's usually an indicator that the expectations that those operators had getting into the business were not aligned with what the outcomes were. That doesn't mean it's a bad brand by any means. And oftentimes, when you look at a broker community, you're convinced or you're talked into buying a 3-pack because you're like, what if someone else comes into the marketplace? Well, that's negotiating first right of refusal with the business. That's something that you need to talk with the franchisor about. So you don't have to be talked into 3 units. I have spoken about, in my opinion, 3 units is a good starting point for making sure you're financially sound to be able to scale up that pathway. It's not a perfect science, but it's an important part to think about. So if you look at an emerging brand and you see a few franchisees that are continuing to scale and grow, or when you start doing some of your due diligence calls and say, would you do this again? They're super enthusiastic about it. That's an indicator that you're in the right place and that you're looking at the right business. An emerging brand can be 10 units, it could be 50 units, it could be 100 units. There's many definitions of it. Now, if you're buying brick and mortar, I really encourage you to be a fan of the brand. For instance, if you hate dogs, don't buy a dog franchise, right? Like you're going to really struggle to be passionate about it, and you probably haven't even been into those units. If you're going to buy a burger brand and you've never tried the burger, go try the burger. Like put in the time and energy into buying this business. The leadership. Now, this is very critical for me. Now, I have a rule when it comes to the Growth Club, no assholes. I said it. You want leadership that you feel confident and comfortable with, that they're going to have your back, because buying a franchise is hard and operating a franchise is hard. So you're going to look around at who's the team behind this and how can they best impact you on your journey. So look at the leadership. Product, point of differentiation. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret here, big secret. And I'm good saying it. If I were going to buy a food brand today, you know what I would buy? I'd buy a self-serve frozen yogurt brand. Now you're going to hear those tires screech. You say, what is he talking about? They tanked. Yeah, but here's the thing. There's no point of differentiation in the product. They all have the same supplier. So you go in, you fill up that same cup. They all look relatively the same. You go down the line, relatively the same flavors, the same toppings, and you walk out. So what's interesting, I can look back at some of the early units that were doing north of $1 million, and then another one opened up next door, and now they're doing $600,000. So I think there were too many players in the space, but people still love frozen yogurt. So I might open up for a short period of time. I might invest into it with the plan to exit. Not a long-term brand for me, but anyway, point of view here is that point of differentiation on the product is very important. Validation. Very key. When you ask franchisees, would you do it again? I really hope they say absolutely, without hesitation. So when I'm validating a business, I'm looking at positives and neutrals. Are people excited about it? Or are they neutral about it? That's good with me. And then lastly, the true support. Not just like a brand that comes out and says, we support you, franchisee. That's fine. I want to know how you actually do it. How frequently are you going to come see me? What are you going to do about my grand opening? What are you doing about supply chain? What's your plan with technology? What do you do with marketing? Because the reality is when you buy a business, you're having to take control of many different departments. When I started a business, I had to scale it and it was hard. I had to learn HR and marketing and operations and sales and client relationships and P&L management and people management. I mean, the list goes on. And so when I'm looking at a franchise brand, I want to know how they truly support me. So asking that question ends up being super important in your due diligence of the business. So if you go through those things after you've already validated that the territory makes sense for you, this should give you some guiding principles of how you should perform your due diligence and your homework when buying a franchise. I'm Nick Powles. For more information, go to 1851franchise.com or visit us at the Growth Club. We'd love to have you as a part of our team or in our club membership. See you, everybody.